Simon, at 10:20 this morning, how do you fancy this? Under a new Premier League plan, recordings of conversations between referees and VAR officials are to be made available to the public, but post-match, after the matches. Now, at least this will tell us they came to a decision, a VAR decision, and this is how they came to it. And after all, this is something that's been working well across the pond in the US with Major League Soccer. This is how they do it.
LAFC have tied it at the Galaxy, but they haven't. This is what video review is for. Let's listen in to hear what they were saying in the VAR booth.
So the guy in the middle, he's gonna play it. And he's right here.
Yes,
so
there's a touch there.
Yeah, and then the guy that's offside, he's gonna come back and play the ball. He's gonna deflect off the white player, but he doesn't play, so it's a deflection, right?
Correct. And right there I have offside.
Yep.
Correct. Offside is my decision. There's nothing
Yeah,
else. Perfect.
Yeah, the other thing doesn't matter.
Decision.
So there we are. They're going to tell us from this point onwards, under this new Premier League plan, how they came to certain decisions. Now, Simon, I emphasise the audio is only going to be released post-match.
Yeah.
Should it be live? Is that the kind of thing we should be hearing live?
I think that it's an evolution. I think it's incremental steps. I think if you take the first step to see how it's received and what's done with it, because the first thing that will happen, and it's not me taking a swing at the media will grab it, turn it into something that possibly it isn't, or try to do something with it. Now, if you can learn the experience of how the first reaction to it is, then possibly you can take the next steps. It's bite-sized chunks. In which environment do they intend to release it into? In terms of the general public can hear it or be privy to it at what particular stage?
As I understand it, over in the States, they put it on YouTube.
Right.
So and they do it fairly rapidly post-match. Okay. So it's available fairly quickly, as I say. And then anything you're still not clear about is cleared up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a step forward. It's a step forward to it being done live, I think.
Yeah, insofar as we genuinely believe, and I'm not entirely sure that I do, I've always believed that the referees have a place in the media to speak about their experiences during match day. Not in the way that you guys portrayed it, which I didn't say have a press conference, but I talk about a post-match interview where they get to evaluate, answer, and be privy, and the public get to be privy to one of the instrumental or influential parts of the game at times, which is referees' decision-making processes. Now, I didn't think that VAR was a device to add more information to the end user. I thought it was a device to eliminate mistakes being made so that we didn't need to provide more information. So we seem to be going about it in a slightly obtuse way, but do
you not concede that as much information, that is what we're seeking. We're seeking information. We're seeking clarity. So the more information, the better.
But we start from a culture of always questioning. We always question every single decision, whereas other sports seem to have a tacit acceptance of the referee's authority, the decision-making processes, and off we move. That human error forms a very small part of certain aspects of it. Because of the nature of the interest in the national sport and because of the level of broadcasting commitment to it, every aspect of the game and every aspect of a decision-making process becomes so over-scrutinised that we've now moved VAR from a device to help referees to stop making fundamental mistakes or to eliminate the jumpers for goalpost mentality that this sport seemed to have. We brought VAR in, but now it seems to me that it's a teletype service that's going to produce a transcript of people's ability to be able to evaluate decisions.
So wait a minute, you tell me you're not for this?
I'm kind of not, and I can't.
It's more information.
Well,
it's more information. It's transparency. They're held to account more now.
Well, they should always be held to account. And if people aren't, I've always believed that VAR is an aide-memoire that the referee on the pitch should be calling for to help him make decisions. And it should never have been the default setting. It should be the referees looking at text saying, I can call for this now. And if they didn't call for it, then they should be looked at in a certain way, saying you're not using the VAR, so actually you start to get marginalised as a referee refereeing mainstream games. It's now being turned into an opportunity to scrutinise and to move towards a direction perhaps sometimes about nuance, because if we're seeing transcripts rather than the entire content, then you lose context, you lose the moment, you lose some nuance. Look, if there is a real desire to use this information to improve the decision-making process, to eliminate the errors, then I'd be a slightly fool dog in a manger mentality to say I don't want it.
That's why I'm surprised.
I want the culture of
your approach on this one.
But what I don't like is the culture of football, and I'm not going to use this example too many times. But we didn't see too much of it during the Euro Championships for the women, where they feel the necessity to challenge every decision that the referees made. It didn't happen. It does happen in male football. So with that in mind, if the culture were better, if the default setting was we respect the authority of those that have the authority, which is i.e. the referee, then I'd be more inclined to suggest that the more scrutiny we put on it, there's a real honesty behind that scrutiny rather than a desire to point your finger at people and blame people and to create a culture where players, managers and the media start from a default setting of they get everything right and the referee doesn't.
Yeah, but Simon, I put it to you, this should not be a blame game.
But it is.
It's about giving more information surrounding an incident that happened during a match.
But it is. And you're right, it shouldn't be a blame game. And that's my...
Well, who's blaming who?
Well, the idea that referees are scrutinised the way that they are, and the margins of errors that we make, and the margins of errors that they make, I'm not just defending it for defending its sake. I do think referees need to be held accountable. I do think that VAR should have been brought in to add a better level of return on the decision-making processes.
Right.
But
So
I didn't envisage, and maybe I need to get my head round envisaging it, that the next step was to bring out transcripts and digital communiques about how they're engaging and why they're engaging in a sport that has a problem fundamentally with authority.
But, I mean, this surely is better than whacking a camera in front of a referee post-match, which you had been calling for.
No,
this is better.
because I think you get context. I think you get absolute unequivocal context then.
But this is better, Simon. You get the exchange that actually took place.
You get the exchange, and maybe that may well be... I will listen and look at it and say, actually, maybe my first reaction was not right, but my first reaction is one of a little bit of trepidation about what this gets turned into rather than what it starts with. The idea that it starts with better information, you know, the idea... I suppose it moves into territory of what benefit is wisdom if it doesn't profit the wise. If the decision's been made and the referee has based it upon a set of perspectives and we're now seeing a printout of what was said, or actually we're going to hear the audio.
You'll hear the audio.
We'll hear the audio.
That's why it's going out on YouTube.
So that may well give it more context. But I still think there is an element of it starts from a setting of the referees having their authority challenged. And everybody in every walk of life, without exceptions, makes mistakes. They do.
Yeah, I get
You
it.
know?
I get it. So your view is this an extension of what already is a blame game?
My gut feeling is there's an element of that.
Right.
My gut feeling is that it's like the media. The media want to go into the courtrooms because they want to put justice on trial. No, they don't. They want to get some more broadcasting content.
Right.
There's
Funnily
no
enough,
ingenuity behind that.
Talking about
at all.
courtrooms, we're in your courtroom later on this morning.
Okay.
That's when you get your wig on. Oh, you've got it on. What do you think of that then? Under this new Premier League plan, recordings of conversations between referees and VAR officials to be made available to the public after matches. The audio is going to be released post-match, and then we'll hear how they came to a decision that they actually came to during the match that maybe caused a bit of debate. What do you think? A good or a bad thing?
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.